welcome to another edition of E-Expressions with the New Indian Express. I have with me Kushboo Sundar, who really doesn't need much introduction, but I still have to do the formalities. Actor, voice of so many women who are voiceless, stands firm, speaks softly but very firmly, can be loud on occasion when provoked. Uh, and of course, recently has joined the BJP, which is exactly why we're speaking to her, though there's never any shortage of occasions to speak to Kushboo about. And Mr. Chawla, the editorial director of the New Indian Express, I will be joining him in interviewing Kushboo. Kushboo, welcome. Now that you're a member of the BJP, I have to ask you, in your resignation letter to Sonia Gandhi, you said very clearly, and I'd just like to quote so that we don't have any loss in translation. There are few people who have no connectivity with the ground reality or public recognition, and they are dictating terms, while people like me who wanted to work for the party sincerely are being pushed and suppressed. So the obvious question, Kushboo, is who are these people who have no connectivity with ground reality? Who did you mean?
Sorry, I wouldn't like to name one person because it wasn't one person who did that, whether it is on the state level or the national level. I think we have those kind of people. You know, when I say people who do not have connectivity with the people, the ground reality, I think unfortunately uh, in Delhi, they have built a bubble. Mr. Rahul Gandhi especially has built a bubble around himself. And people who are allowed to enter that bubble, you know, they tell him that everything is fine. And that bubble is opaque, it's not even transparent. So he cannot see the actual facts as to what is happening outside. And the people who are surrounded, whether here or Delhi, they're not even connected. Nobody even recognizes them in Tamil Nadu. You are no way connected because you don't come here, you don't meet the people. You're not connected with Tamil Nadu. And this is how the people are there, where they do not take the reality to him. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi has no choice but to believe what is happening around him or the kind of news which goes to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So people like me, when I say people like me, I was suppressed and pushed. So when I write this letter, it is not about me alone. I know there are so many voices within the party who needs to speak. And they do not have probably the courage, the position, or an option to move out. So they do not speak, but then from the party, within the party, I've had so many calls coming in congratulating me that you have spoken for us. We really hope that Mr. Rahul Gandhi wakes up at least after you have left. So I wouldn't want to name anybody, but yes, after reading the letter, there will be few here and in Delhi who would go, will shift their chair. So I know I have made the difference and I have got the message loud and clear.
Kushboo, that's all very well, but do you think the BJP was the right choice for you, especially since you were coming from the DMK, you went to the Congress? Was the BJP the right choice for you as a landing party just before the elections?
I didn't even think that it's just before the election because just before the election, we are talking about Tamil Nadu election.
Yes.
Everywhere I have been talking to the press, they're saying, why BJP? Because BJP does not even have any recognition in Tamil Nadu. So I wouldn't even look as, you know, a political move that there are elections coming in and I need to jump into a party. If I had jumped into AIDMK, probably that accusation would have been justified. See, for me, I have been thinking about quitting the party for quite some time. I have been tolerating the nonsense. I've been tolerating all kinds of insults. I've been tolerating the way my dignity was questioned. Everything I have, my respectability, I was losing my respectability. I was tolerating that for almost 4 years now. And I did take this up with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I did take this up to the people up there in Delhi. And then I saw the behavior, the way they were not even paying a heed to it. For them, it's fine. You're defending them on the news channels. You're defending them on the Twitter very ferociously. So that's perfectly fine. But then if you're not going to clear the problems, what is at the ground level, I don't think you can build a party. Your base needs to be strong. And my letter to Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji was ready way back in Feb. But then this COVID-19 problem came up. There was a lockdown. I always thought that I joined the party when she was a president. And as a respect to her, I have great admiration for Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji. And I said, when I quit, I should hand over the letter to her personally and explain as to why I'm leaving. But because of this COVID, I was not able to meet her. There was a lockdown. And then because of a health issue, she was not meeting many people. So that was, there, the letter was lying on my table. I did come to Delhi before joining BJP, and I did meet a couple of leaders there from Congress. And just a few minutes into the meeting, and I was clear that I don't want to be here. Because it was like a broken record, Purane zamane mein you have this record and it goes, it goes on this. That's when I decided that this is not going to work. I mean, I am, either I'm going to lose my sanity, which I almost did, or I cannot work for a party like this. And that's when I took a call that I quit. Yes, BJP, the next question, why BJP?
Yeah.
BJP did approach me for the last few months. I would say 3 months they have been speaking to me. And I always said no, because my mindset was that probably my ideologies may not match. But then I did a lot of thinking. And the biggest thinking was when I looked back at my statements, my attack on the BJP, my attack on the Honorable Prime Minister, my attack on Nirmala ji, or my attack on any of the uh, BJP leaders. My children pointed out to me. They're saying, what is wrong with you? I'm somebody who wouldn't even swear. And, my children were like, Ma, are you sure these are your words? Where are you heading? What are you doing? You're not you. So it was like you're a possessed devil where you're just speaking without thinking. You just want to be in good books with your party. You just want to get a good name for your party. You're in desperation that, listen, I'm working for the party, And when I actually looked back when my children pointed out, I was quite ashamed of myself because over a period of time, if you look into my tweets, it became a very, very personal attacks. It became very unparliamentary, very not in a good sense. And that scared me that I was becoming somebody who I'm not. And I'm someone who accused the BJP of saying, "2 rupiya leke troll karte hain." I was one of them. I was not paid 2 rupees, but with 1.3 million followers and with a verified account, I was doing nothing but I was trolling. And you cannot oppose just for the sake of opposition. And I realized I was blindly doing that. That's when I had to take a call that I need to stop this.
Kushboo, I will interrupt you here because I've heard you for the last couple of minutes. I can't find any ideological driven urge on your part. You are admitting yourself that you are parroting what you are supposed to parrot at tweet when you're doing it. You're not using what your mind would like to tell you. You are using what others would like you to propagate. That is what happened in BJP as well. There is the IT cell which will tweet on your behalf. Perhaps that will happen. I'm going a bit bigger question. I'm not going to personalities or anything else. I would like to ask you, does ideology now matter? Because you are also pointing out you are not comfortable with the people you are working with. You are not uncomfortable with the ideology you are working for.
Okay, coming to your question, Prabhu Chalaji, I would like to say that I'm an activist first. What is the ideology of every politician? So, okay, inverted commas, we want to sound good. We say politician, I would say a public servant who's elected by the people to serve the people. We completely forget whether we are in power or not in power. We just say that, oh, I'm a politician. So the sound of being a politician sounds good, but then you are a public servant elected to serve the people. And your ideologies remain the same. Your mind changes, you grow. I think the basic ideology of a politician or any political party is to serve the people, to make sure that the nation grows.
Kushboo, you are absolutely right. It is a duty of every political party to serve the nation. But their manifesto don't match with each other. The Congress Party ideology of secularism and BJP ideology of nationalism, where do you stand in between? Because you went from DMK to Congress, And Tamil Nadu is a ideologically driven state where regional aspirations matter more than the national aspirations. Therefore, national parties have been marginalized. You have moved from one marginalized party to another marginal party in the state. Obviously, you don't have a space for the regional party.
See, I am not even going to look into that, when you're jumping, you're looking at the benefits, whether you're jumping in a party as to how big that political gain is going to be there for me personally.
No,
It
I'm
is,
not. I'm asking you ideologically, DMK and BJP, though what together, obviously, they were in power together.
see, basically, I come from DMK. I always say, and I still today, I say that I take a pride in saying that my master for politics has been Dr. Kalinga. And one thing I learned from him is he said, there's nothing called an enemy party. It's always an opposition party. You are no permanent friends with any political people, neither you are, a permanent enemy with any of the political people, because we ourselves change during the election times about our alliances. Today we curse someone and then we have an alliance with the same people for the benefits of the state and for the benefits of the people. So we work like that. So nobody is a permanent enemy. And I completely believe in that. That nobody is a perfect friend, nobody is a perfect enemy. I'm saying my ideologies remain the same. My thoughts remain the same. I have just changed my party. Now, what ideology we are talking about? My ideology remains the same. It's about national politics, no? It's about the people of this nation. It's about the secularism of this country, and it's about the growth of this country. And there are no changes in that.
But isn't there a contradiction, a fundamental contradiction with the secularism of the Congress and the stated Hindutva politics of the BJP? That is, those are poles apart. I mean, you cannot deny that.
No, Kaveri, I'm saying when you're talking about secularism, if Congress is so keen about secularism, why did the Congress come out and say that what is the Gotra of Mr. Rahul Gandhi? I mean, who were you trying to appease then? I'm sure you're not trying to appease the BJP leaders who have been questioning Mr. Rahul Gandhi's details. You're not trying to appease them. So why were you appeasing the Hindus then? You wanted the Hindu votes. Why this hypocritical attitude? You blame one party saying that it's about Hindutva and it's about one nation. And you say, I'm talking about secularism. But here you're not talking about secularism. You're trying to appease. It's not the minorities alone. You're trying to appease the Hindus. Or let any opposition party which says that we are very secular minded. Let them say that we are not bothered about the Hindu votes. Just let the minorities and the backward class vote for us and we are happy with it. Are they happy with that? I mean, you have to explain that what Hindu Rahul Gandhi is, which God he prays to, which temple he goes to, whether he wears the thread around his neck or not. I mean, you go to that explanation, he's a Shivan Bhakt and all that. Who were you trying to appease? So I think it's high time we stop this appeasement politics and this hypocritical attitude. It sounds good. I myself say that it sounds good to say that I'm a secular person.
Right.
And there's a section of people who always have different ideas. The whole beautiful part about our country is the diversity. Yet we live together. We learn to accept each other. But we are trying to make it very murky and dirty of late, which I don't want to be part of it.
No, Kushboo, you are always projecting yourself liberal. We have been watching you for many years. We have spoken to each other. We have heard you on various platforms. You are some kind of a symbol of liberal identity in the state of Tamil Nadu, which was always plagued by regional consideration and not. Now people charge you that you have changed your identity from being a liberal in conventional sense, not in the left sense which you are talking about, but you have gone to a place which is not known as liberal in certain quarters.
See, when we say not known as,
basically, people say.
See, I truly understand that. I'm not going to deny that probably people will have little difficulty in trying to understand why I went to BJP. With me being such a loud noise maker from the opposition. I think I was one of the loudest noise makers from the opposition. And I completely take the charges. But again, I'm saying liberalism is what? Speaking your mind, taking a stance. I still continue to do the same. I've just joined the party 3 days back. They haven't seen me speaking yet from this party platform. So my ideas, my ideologies remain the same with me. there is a sense of relief that you're not part of a society which is hypocritical society, which is trying to do appeasement politics, which is trying to take people for granted, which is about people who do not want to understand what exactly the people want, but try to gain, few brownie points politically to misguide the people. I mean, you take a stance, you take a great stance, and you say, I'm not going to deny that Gandhis have played a huge role in building this nation. Nobody can deny that. We still celebrate Mahatma Gandhi, we still celebrate Nehru, we still celebrate Indira Gandhi. So all that, I mean, you know who was the prime minister, who have served the country. We're not going to deny that process at all. We all have been brought up from school days about how it was one party which has taken the country forward. BJP has come in now, so the question of BJP being part of the freedom movement does not arise because they have just come into the political field. They're what, just a few years old. I'm saying just a couple of decades old. So I'm saying I am not here to judge. People have all the rights. They have all the democratic rights to judge me, and I'm open to criticism. I'm not going to deny that any of the tweets were not mine. What I spoke on certain platforms was not me. It was a dubbed voice. There was a change of the voice. No, I have spoken.
Won't delete tweets, I hope.
No, I haven't deleted a single tweet, sir. Neither I have said that it's managed by my admin.
You see, हिंदी में you speak हिंदी very well. ये आयराम गैराम पॉलिटिक्स जो थी नॉर्थ इंडिया की, कि आप महाराष्ट्र में, बॉम्बे में पैदा हुई, तमिलनाडु में शिफ्ट कर गई, तो you are also now becoming part of the North Indian culture where Airam Gairam is much more often. So you have added your name. Your critics might say, I'm not saying that, but you were from DMK, because I knew Dr. Kalanger very well. He used to have a duel with me all the time. He wrote articles, editorial against me, saying my friend Prabhu Chawla written this. He was a great man, no doubt about it. And he was a very, in terms of social relationship, he was the most liberal person.
Yes.
But your journey from DMK to BJP is very difficult to digest for your supporters, your fans.
No, I'm saying what is the difference is what I'm still trying to understand. What is the liberalism they're talking about? What is it they're saying there's a huge jump? I do not understand.
मंदिर नहीं बनेगा, मोदी से हम बना दिया, that's the difference.
तो मस्जिद ही बन रहा है, मंदिर बन रहा है.
Anger never supported demolition of masjid and construction of Ram Mandir.
Sorry?
Kalanger party doesn't support Ram or Ram ideology or idea of Ram, even they don't support.
His own family members go to the temple very openly. Prabhuji, his own family members go to the temples openly. तो मतलब वो जमाना गया है where Kalanger says I'm an atheist and I don't believe in temples and I don't believe in gods. His own women of the family are going to the temple very openly and boasting about it. And they have accepted that. So you have to change. People have their own ideas and own thoughts. So I'm glad, like, in a family like Kalinger's family, he had given the freedom to the women to choose what they want to choose. He didn't push his own ideologies on his own children. So, I mean, I think that is the greatest quality of Dr. Kalanger. Not forcing his own ideologies on his own children. So I don't think he's ever forced his ideology on people. He had a following and they followed him what he had his ideology because they thought the ideology matched.
DMK doesn't believe in this, in Hindutva, does it? Or Congress party for that reason?
What is Hindutva they're talking about? That's what I'm asking.
The Hindutva, the BJP kind.
And BJP kind, I'm saying BJP kind, matlab hum to bana dete hain, BJP opposition mein rahe 6 saal.
I don't want to quote your tweets, but since you have said, I'm not going to disown them.
I don't have a problem. I have spoken. That's what I'm saying. See, I was in a particular party. I went there with the belief that they're going to bring in a change, despite being in the position they're going to bring in a change. I have seen opposition parties in the country when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was there, Rajiv Gandhi ji was there. I have seen the way politics have worked. I have seen how Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji took forward some of Rajiv Gandhi's policies. I have seen where Rajiv Gandhi accepting and taking forward Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji's policies. There was a healthy politics then, despite being in oppositions to take the country forward. We are making it dirty. And I don't like that. I mean, opposition is, you have to oppose if there is an issue. You don't have to oppose because you have to oppose. You don't have to oppose because you're in a position and it's your birthright to oppose. My argument is that, and I have been doing that for almost 6 long years. I have been doing that, sitting and opposing for the sake of being in a position. I have welcomed Prime Minister Modi's quite a few the schemes what he brought in, the abolishment of triple talaq, the NEP scheme, when there was a judgment on Ram Mandir, everything I have accepted. Because I think the Supreme Court gives a judgment. After that, we don't have to argue about it.
I'm not on to that. I'm going to, again, I'm coming to the basic question, not going to the individuals. मेरा सवाल ये है आपसे कि विचारधारा नाम की भी चीज है ना कोई, या व्यक्ति पूजा इंपॉर्टेंट है?
हाँ, विचारधारा है इसलिए तो, और खुद की सोच है इसलिए तो, इतना सोचने के बाद एक जगह जहां पर विचारधारा की सिर्फ बातें हुई जाती है, कही जाती है, लेकिन उस पे अमल नहीं किया जाता, इसलिए तो वहां से बाहर आई हूँ।
खुशबू, जो बीजेपी की पार्टी कल्चर जो है, आप जिस तरह से आपकी राजनीतिक यात्रा शुरू हुई है, उस चाल चलन चेहरा का यहाँ पर, जहाँ का चाल चलन चेहरा बिल्कुल अलग है, उसमें फिट कैसे बैठेंगे मेरे समझ नहीं आता। आप
हर किस्म के लोग हर जगह हैं, हर किस्म के लोग हर जगह। बीजेपी, जिस तरह से हम कहते हैं कि बीजेपी एक तरह का चाल चलन है, उसी तरह के चाल चलन के लोग आपको डीएमके भी मिलेंगे और कांग्रेस में भी मिलेंगे। और जिस तरह से हम कहते हैं कि इस 2 जगह पे जो लोग हैं, उस किस्म के लोग आपको बीजेपी में भी मिलेंगे। हर किस्म के लोग हर जगह हैं, 5 उंगलियां एक जैसी नहीं होती, हर किस्म के लोग हैं। एंड दैट इज द ब्यूटी अबाउट डेमोक्रेसी। You have your thoughts, you have your ideologies, but you follow something which you truly believe in. And you're honest about it.
I will explain one thing, because if that was true, Tamil Nadu is a state where BJP, despite many things, despite Prime Minister winning twice, and they have not been able to get even 2-3%, 4% वोट, मैक्सिमम खड़ा होकर के 6% भी ले लिया, वहां पर कोई भी नेशनल लीडर भी नहीं बन करके आया। वो उस स्टेट के अंदर you are joining a party, you are right, because you are not joining because you want to counter election. I'm just saying a state like Tamil Nadu where Congress party rules once and never come back after that. It is unlikely to come back. And BJP, I don't see in my lifetime, I'm very old anyway, my lifetime is very little left behind me. You have a very big life left behind you. But why did you join a party which has no bigger influence on Tamil Nadu? You are indirectly shadow boxing for AIDMK. That is the impression we generally get. You may be wrong. So basically, yours is the indirect entry to the ADMK through the BJP.
मतलब अगर यही बात, if I had to choose BJP, had I been from Karnataka with the BJP in power in Karnataka, ये सवाल नहीं उठता। तो ना तभी तो ये सवाल, तभी मेरी आइडियोलॉजी पे, तभी मेरी इन बातों पे सवाल नहीं उठता कि आई हैव जॉइंड अ पार्टी व्हिच इज रूलिंग द स्टेट, राइट? तो तब होता कि यार शी इज एन अपॉर्चुनिस्ट, पार्टी इज रूलिंग इन द स्टेट आल्सो, तो उसके लिए फायदा है। मैं
directly joined a party which is ruling the state.
No, the BJP is not ruling the state.
Oh, no, indirectly the party which is, I'm telling you, there is an understanding, there is an election, there is a visible understanding between ADMK and BJP, which all of us know and you also know.
प्रभु जी, मुझसे ज्यादा आप इन पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में समझ बहुत ज्यादा है आपको। कौन कहाँ खड़ा होता है हमें पता नहीं ओवरनाइट। मुझसे ज्यादा आपको जानकारी है, मुझसे ज्यादा आपको इसके बारे में पता है। तो
you will campaign for AIDMK during the election if there is an alliance.
So if it was about AIDMK, it was very easy. I would have joined AIDMK. I'm here. मुझे यहाँ पे पता चाहिए।
I'm saying if there is a political alliance between BJP and AIDMK, you will be the star campaigner for them, isn't it?
Why not? I campaigned for the people who actually filed cases against me in Supreme Court in 2005 onwards. They were in alliance with the DMK. Yet I went and campaigned for them, right? So I'm here. So I have nothing against, and in fact, personally, I have nothing against AIDMK. In fact, when our Honorable Chief Minister was named again after the AIDMK as the face and as a candidate of Chief Ministership, I congratulated him. I actually congratulated him. So I have met him a couple of times for different reasons. So I know he's a very warm person. He's a very strong person. I don't have anything against him. So if BJP and AIDMK, there's going to be an alliance. I will definitely campaign for them, and whoever is on the alliance, whoever is on the board, I'm going to campaign for them.
Because the way people are joining party, leaving party, like Bihar mein bhi ho raha hai, everywhere else it's happening. On the eve of election, you see many people shifting stand. Don't you think now, my favorite phrase myself, now the conviction is becoming a matter of convenience for all of you?
No, when it comes to a party like Congress, it does not. Because people leaving at the time when there's an election and unko kuch fayda hone wala, it's different. But here we have seen over a period of time, right from Hemant Biswas or Ajay Kumar, or now very recently Mr. Scindia, Sachin Pilot almost left, whether it was Priyanka Chaturvedi or Tom Vadakar or myself and so many others. You know, when we leave the party, or G23, what we would like to call them, the 23 people who wrote a letter, very strong, and a letter quite understandingly, who have given their entire life to the party.
I will
Okay.
stop you here. You find 23 in your new party who can sign this kind of letter, then I will see.
No. If there is a crisis, I'm sure they will. There's no crisis. See, fortunately, there's no crisis. You don't see that kind of a crisis. So when the 23 members, okay, I have joined party 6 years back. आपको पार्टी के बारे में क्या मालूम, मुझसे सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. अग्रीड, मैं नहीं जानती, सिर्फ 6 साल में मैंने पार्टी के अंदर से सीखा है. लेकिन जब 23 लोग एक खत लिखते हैं और खत की जो बात होती है, उसके ऊपर जिस तरह पे उनके ऊपर एक क्या कहते हैं, एक कीचड़ उछाला जाता है कि आपने किसी और वजह से आपने ये खत हमें लिखा है. So that sets you thinking, like you don't do this to the 23 people who are there. You have to really understand that why people are abandoning a ship which is supposed to sail smoothly. People have jumped into the ship, like I jumped into the ship and it was sinking in 2014. It was at its lowest ever, the worst defeat they have seen, with just 44 seats in Lok Sabha. Yet I jumped into Congress because there was a belief. But then that belief is not there now. So the Congress party, the leadership in Congress party, first they have to own up the leadership. We don't have a leader to call, say, okay, Sonia ji is there, she's the interim president. But we need to choose a leader. Where is the leader? Who do we go and speak to? Because you say something to Rahul ji and he says, I'm not the president, don't come to me. So who do we go to?
And again, you are reiterating what we have been talking from the beginning. I'll go back to the general question. You are also talking about individuals from the beginning, because now the new politics is talk about individuals. Don't you think we are supporting the hypothesis that ideologies are thinking, individuals are rising in new politics? But you cannot join the BJP and not talk about Narendra Modi. In Congress party, you cannot be a Congressee unless you say Rahul Gandhi Jindabad, Sonia Gandhi Jindabad. In Lalu Prasad Yadav, you cannot be a party worker unless you say Lalu Prasad Jindabad or his son Jindabad. And if you go to Mamta Didi, you have to say Mamta Ji, Mamta Ji, Mamta Ji. So what is happening? Do you support this kind of individuals getting preference over any ideology? Now the ideologies are written by the new individual who comes to power. Rahul Gandhi, the new ideology of the Congress party, according to you. So you also support the rise of individualism?
There should be a rise of the party. Any individual person can rise above the party only if the people believe that this particular person has the capacity to take the party to its best height. Somebody like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has got that kind of an image, because starting from nowhere, the position what is acquired today, BJP is there, BJP is a party, but then he has built an image for himself which is above the party. And that speaks a lot about a leader. You need to rise above everything else. People need to believe in one person. The minute here, people believed in Kalingar, that's why they believed in DMK. People believed in Anna, that's why they believed in AIDMK. People believed in MG Ramachandran. People believed in Jayalalitha. So people, or in Andhra, people believed in NTR. People have to believe in the individual. So only then people start believing in the party, because they think the party is affiliated to them. The party is there. I'm voting for this AIDMK is because Amma is there. I'm voting for DMK because Kalingar is there. I'm voting for one party in Andhra because NTR is there. So today when the people of this country, 128 crore people vote for this country, they vote for BJP is because there's a man above that, and that is the Honorable Prime Minister. And that's why they say this is one man who can save the country. They don't say it's a party which can save the country. This is one man who can take the country forward. And why we from the opposition, when I was in the opposition, we attacked only the Prime Minister as an individual. The party was just tagged along. So we knew where to hit. We were just hitting the Prime Minister directly. Party was just added to it. Modi ki BJP sarkar, Modi government, Modi और बीजेपी, बीजेपी की मोदी नहीं कह रहे थे, मोदी की बीजेपी कह रहे थे, मोदी की भाजपा सरकार, भाजपा के मोदी को नहीं कह रहे थे हम.
So basically you're saying that like the Congress party said, used to say Indra is India, India is Indra. Same thing is happening here. Modi is India, India is Modi.
See, I'm saying people grew up to that. When I say I looked at Congress, is because I grew up on Indira Gandhi. I grew up to Indira Gandhi. I remember when she was assassinated. As a 14-year-old, when she got assassinated in '84, I remember how devastated I was as a teenager because I grew up on that. I don't expect my children to understand the ideologies of what the Congress says or what the sacrifices of Indira Gandhi ji was there. For them, there was a prime minister who was assassinated, and they will be definitely feeling bad about that why a prime minister was assassinated. But if I expect my children to say that you have to believe in Congress or you have to believe in BJP, or since we live in Tamil Nadu, you either believe in AIDMK or you believe in DMK. No. I mean, the kids have the freedom to choose their own. They have their own thinking capabilities. They will do it. So they have to understand that. So this is where the India has to grow. Allow the individuals that you do not vote for Nota, but make a choice of choosing either of the government parties which you want to rule the country forward. Nota cannot be an option, and it shouldn't be an option, is what my argument is.
Let me ask you a very frank question. Have you joined BJP or have you joined Modi?
I have joined BJP.
Because you are speaking about Modi. If there were no Modi, you would have joined.
I definitely wouldn't have joined BJP if there was no Modi. For me, I have joined the party. I have not joined an individual. I trust BJP because there is a man.
You are saying he's about the party. It is because Modi is BJP, not BJP is Modi. So you have made the distinction already. Therefore, I am asking you, it's the Modi's BJP you have joined, not the BJP is Modi.
I have joined BJP because I see somebody like Modi ji there.
So that's the distinction you are making. If he was not there, you perhaps would have second thoughts.
You would have had my doubts. It depends as to who is the leader who you trusted. So you have somebody like Modi ji there, there's a trust. The party remains the same, it's a BJP. But there is a man above that. There is a man who's the face of the party. That makes a lot of difference.
Kushboo, may I ask what you think is lacking in Rahul Gandhi?
He has to open up. To be brutally honest with, apologies to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, please wake up. This is all I would like to tell him. He needs to understand. He cannot be arrogant that people are leaving, let them go. And I'm not talking about myself. I may be a very small fish comparatively to the huge grand old party we have. I might be just one spokesperson for them, national spokesperson for them. But then when you have some big leaders who have been questioning them, be it big leaders who are leaving, people who can make a difference. We saw the exit of Mr. Scindia, how it costed them one state. I think they need to wake up. They need to understand where they are going wrong. They're refusing to introspect. They're refusing to look within themselves as to where they're making mistakes. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi needs to wake up to that.
Do you think that they still have a chance in this country, in this new India, which seems to be voting again and again for the BJP or regional parties?
I would like to tell them that if this is how they go, they don't even stand a chance to be in the opposition. Whether they come back to power or not, I do not know. Anything can happen tomorrow. But if this is how they're going to behave, they're going to lose what they have now, and that is being in the opposition. They're going to lose that also.
Pushpa, I also want to ask that as a woman, do you feel comfortable in a party that hasn't always been very favorable to women. It has espoused some pretty misogynistic comments.
Kaveri, when I left Congress, and I say with the very deep hurt and anguish, my uh, past party's state president, he came up with a statement. He couldn't think of anything else. After being in the party for 6 years, he comes up with a statement that, "ठीक है यार, after all, she was an actress, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?" So you see the misogynist mindset, the sexiest mindset. मतलब when I'm working for you, आपको पता नहीं मैं कौन हूँ. When you give me a posting as a national spokesperson, आपको पता नहीं है मैं actor हूँ. When you want to draw crowds and you send me to every nook and corner of the country, you don't know who I am. But the minute I quit, you said, after all, she was an actress. So, these kind of things you have everywhere. I'm not going to say that probably I have just entered the party. I'm yet to experience something like that. But when you have given everything to one particular party for 6 years, and then this is the statement comes out, it's just that I feel good that I made a right decision in quitting the party. You see the kind of insecurity, you see the kind of inferiority complex they have with a woman. पहले तो औरत को बोलना नहीं चाहिए, औरत को समझदार बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए, औरत खूबसूरत हो तो बिल्कुल नो. This is a definition. So खूबसूरत औरत और अक्लमंद सवाल ही नहीं उठता. And उसके बाद सोने पे सुहाग, she is an actress. I am the biggest problem for them, that I'm beautiful, I am intelligent, I can speak my mind, I have the capability of moving ahead, probably surpassing them and moving ahead. So ये सब problem उनको हो जाता है. वहाँ तब उनका वो एक patriarchy, misogynist mindset.
जो चीजें बीजेपी की मिसिंग थी तमिलनाडु में, ना चेहरा था, ना चलन था, पिछले कई सालों से झगड़ा कर रहे हैं. डू यू थिंक आपकी अकल का फायदा, आपकी शक्ल का फायदा उठाने क्या?
अकल का फायदा तो मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन फिलहाल शक्ल का फायदा तो जरूर होगा.
Very well said. But Kushboo, the other thing I wanted to ask Mr. Chawla, and I think this is something that we also grapple with, because Rahul Gandhi always says that we are in politics not for power, we're in politics to serve. But it's very difficult to say that down the line when people continue to work for you without any power, without any office, without any political benefit. So was that also a consideration? After all, for 6 years, you had been serving them very loyally, and I think almost on any occasion you were asked to defend quite a few indefensible things as well. So was it also a question of not getting enough recognition in terms of maybe a Rajya Sabha nomination or maybe a political office?
No, not at all. There were no expectations at all. See, I would be better if I say that, okay, they had promised me and मुझे फिर कुछ दिया नहीं. There were no expectations. There was nothing spoken. So I was happy with the post that was given to me as a national spokesperson. I was extremely happy with that, because that was the least thing I was expecting. So when national spokesperson was given to me, I was completely elated, and I was very happy that I was given a national spokesperson. But again, like I said, when you say that we do not bother about power, but then you're fighting because you want to come back to power. You're fighting elections because you want to come back to power. So power is something which is completely, you cannot stay without. You have tasted power for so many long years. So you want to come back to power. And party is not about anything else but about leadership. Where is the leadership of Congress? Why did Rahul Gandhi quit? He resigned when we lost elections in 2019. Why did he do that? I mean, it wasn't his, he says on moral grounds, wasn't his moral, the strength of his moral should be that I am here, even if we have lost, we will come back, but stay strong, I stand with you. Please tell me one person who was in charge of any of the states in 2019 who quit after Rahul Gandhi quit. Wasn't the moral responsibility of the people who were in charge of the particular states during the election? Did they quit? Did they resign? No, I mean, you have a follower like you follow, you swear by Rahul Gandhi. Follow him, resign. लेकिन तब अपनी कुर्सी प्यारी रहती है, तब हमें अपनी कुर्सी को टाइट पकड़ के रखना है, fasten your seat belts, तभी आएगा.
I'll interrupt again because time is very short now, because Congress is still surviving because we give disproportionate time discussing Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party.
Yeah, that's true.
Because even the people who leave the Congress, they don't talk much about their next party, but they talk about their past party. Rahul Gandhi is in front page because of the people who don't like him, not because of the people.
I think, no, probably Rahul Gandhi is a very intelligent person. I have interacted with him on a very personal level. He is a very well-read, very intelligent man. It's just that, unfortunately, I think he gets carried away by the people who are surrounded around. You know, he loves to be surrounded by people who give him all the wrong opinions. But otherwise, he's a very well-read person.
Rahul Gandhi, I also met a couple of times, and he's a good listener. He engages you in discussion, listens to it, asks questions. That's first, because he's the only person, visible opposition leader is seen in the state, also on the street now. Maybe he does more frequently than he may be considered seriously at that time. But coming back here, now as you said, कि अभी तो मेरा चेहरा या शक्ल है, तो आपको कोई प्रॉमिस किया है बीजेपी ने? क्योंकि जितने लोग बीजेपी में जा रहे हैं, leaving other parties, they are made either vice president like Jay Panda has become, and the one state or the other. No serious work is given. But since you are in a state where they need desperately some good faces and good orators like you, आपको कोई प्रॉमिस किया उन्होंने कि आपको हम ये बना देंगे, चीफ मिनिस्टर का कैंडिडेट डिक्लेयर कर देंगे?
बिल्कुल नहीं. आई थिंक लोग जो बीजेपी में आ रहे हैं, आप देखते हैं कि उनको जिस तरह से एक क्या कहते हैं, एक उम्दा पोजीशन दी जा रही है, एक आदर किया जा रहा है, उसकी वजह सिर्फ यही है कि वो उनकी वैल्यूज समझते हैं. और मैं जब बीजेपी में आई हूँ तो मुझसे कोई वादा नहीं किया गया, हमने कोई एग्रीमेंट नहीं साइन किया है, कोई बिजनेस डील नहीं है कि भैया मैं वो छोड़ के यहाँ आ रही हूँ तो आप मुझे क्या दोगे. क्योंकि मैं फिर अगर कोई कहता है कि नहीं बिजनेस डील हुई है, तो मैं सिर्फ यही पूछना चाहूंगी कि फिर मैं जब कांग्रेस में डूबती नाव में जब कूदी थी तो आपने मुझे क्या बिजनेस डील करवाया था, मुझे बता दें.
The merger acquisition, no, the price you are merging from one party to acquired by another party.
No, we don't make these business deals. I think it's just the trust what the party has on me. They have shown the kind of trust, the way they have welcomed me with open arms, with so much of warmth, despite being one of the most vocal criticizers of the party. But I see the way they have been, meeting me and trying to be nice to me and, trying to, giving me that comfortable position to fit into that.
Would you like to play a more regional role, Tamil Nadu role, than the national role?
I don't know. I leave it to the leaders to decide, to choose. मेरे ख्याल से क्योंकि being a multilingualist मेरे लिए फायदा हो जाता है कि मैं कोई भी भाषा बोल लेती हूँ तो कहीं travel करने में आसान होता है. लेकिन मतलब I leave it to the leaders to decide कि मेरा role सिर्फ तमिलनाडु में रहेगा या nationally कोई role रहेगा. मतलब the choice is completely theirs.
That's why I'm coming back to the basic thing that she has agreed that the ideologies don't matter as much as the individuals do, because individuals make the ideology. This is what she's saying. I think that's why individuals are shifting from one to another, because they find a better individual who leads a better party, isn't it?
Your ideologies remain the same. Your ideas remain the same. You just grow up. You evolve. As you grow older, you evolve. I'm sure आपकी सोच जो अभी से 20 साल पहले थी वो अभी नहीं है.
But you are saying ideology remains the same. That I presume that your DMK ideology went to Congress to BJP चली गई, but leaders have changed. You change the leaders, not the ideology.
My thoughts, what I am basically as a person will remain the same.
Particularly, what I'm saying, you don't change the ideology, but you are leader.
Yes, you don't change the ideologies.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just one last question, Kushboo. I just wanted to know, since you've acted with Rajni and Rajnikant and Kamal Hassan through your career, I wonder, did you ask them for advice or did they call you when you quit the Congress to go to the BJP? Did either of them call you, since they're both politically quite active now?
Okay, I know Rajni sir is a very good colleague of mine. I do speak to him. Kamal sir is a very close friend. So I wouldn't want to comment on that because that's if we speak, it's on a very, very personal level. So I definitely wouldn't want to make that public.
But they did speak to you.
No, I'm not quoting that at all.
It's a comment. I think some of the people who called me उन्होंने कहा कि अब तो मेल डोमिनेटेड तमिल पॉलिटिक्स हो गई थी आफ्टर मैडम जयललिता के जाने के बाद.
जी.
There is a possibility BJP might invoke a female or women face as good as Jayalalitha to turn the tables.
Chalo,
Right?
that's good. That's a
Thank
great, that's a lovely note to end on. Kushboo, more power to you. Wherever you go, at least there will be a woman at the helm. Thank you so much
you so much.
for
Pleasure
being
speaking
with us.
to both. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.